Hi everyone, and welcome back to Homestead Rewind. It's been a pretty nice day today. We have had rain and more rain. It's just sitting and swirling right here in around south central Missouri. But I have been able to get some things done in the garden today, which I'm really grateful for because it's been a little while. I'm almost finished with my fresh mint and lemon balm iced tea that I made earlier just to cool off. Come along with me and I'll show you what I've been up to.
She's waiting for love to be realized. I'll send her my heart covered as a gift, and hope that she'll take it into her side. La 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 la.
I started out with a garden soil from my girlfriend's, very good soil tested it, and it had great pH balance. It only just lacked a tiny bit of nitrogen. I used that when I first started amending my container gardens and have successfully grown a lot of stuff in it, especially my spinach and carrots. They have done very, very well, and my potatoes too. You can see my spinach, and you can see that there is so much clover that's growing up in that. That's what my girlfriends feed their horses, is clover. And so there's a lot of seed in that. She doesn't have access to a tractor to turn that soil over. So we were literally just shoveling that right straight out of the field. And it probably needed to be turned a few times just to get all the seeds out of it. But look how pretty that spinach is growing in there. And then look over here too at my beets. They're just going crazy. I've been picking them and putting them in my salad, trying to thin them out. And my carrots, they're just taking over that container. And I was cruising along YouTube and found a really good way to germinate carrot seeds. And that's how I got them in the container spread out the way that I did. If this is a success, I plan on doing a video later on to show you how I did that. My garlic is really taking over this bed, and you can see the volunteer dill from last year that is sprouting up. And also, let me take you down here and show you. That is the celery that I planted from the root after I'd used all the celery stalks off. I stuck it down there in the dirt, and it is delicious. Way more tasty than the celery that I actually took off of that stalk. So good. Grumpy Grandpa, guess what? I have my own Alexa softball. Rosie brought me a surprise. I didn't know I had one of these. Let's ask it a question. Alexa, is my garden gonna succeed this year? No training. I guess she needs to be programmed. May I have you do that? Last year, my girlfriends made me a raised bed garden and gifted it to me. They knew that I was coming back to the homestead, but I never did get to use it because by the time we left the campground, the growing season was over. This year I've decided that not only am I going to plant in it later, but I'm going to use it for something really, really special that I have to do here at the farm. But first, let me explain to you how I got to this point. A lot of you already know that after our excavation work, you could see that we have a very rocky, sloping hillside that we're trying to grow a garden on here. There's a lot of red clay that's only just about 6 inches layered down. But the dirt that is on top, especially up here at the top of the hill, is really good, rich soil. And it has a lot of earthworms in it, and it just smells, you know, that earthy smell that I'm talking about. It just smells like good garden soil. The problem is there are so many rocks in it, and also there are twigs and sticks and all kinds of things that are pretty good size that makes it hard to manipulate when you're planting in these raised beds. I want to add an extra boost of fertilizer to my soil as I'm amending it, since this is my first year. And that's what this is back here. What you're seeing here is a root ball of a humongous forsythia bush that we had to pull out with the tractor. we were not able to see when we were trying to pull out a driveway because this thing had just grown so massive and taken over. And so we decided to go ahead and pull it since we have several other forsythias around the farm. And they can overtake things. But this is the massive root ball system that was pulled out. And you can see it's full of roots and it has these rocks in it. But the soil, look how well drained it is. It's been raining here for a couple weeks and this soil is already workable. It rained here last night over an inch and everything is just drenched from it being already rained. But the soil is just so well drained and it smells so organic. I feel like that it will do perfectly into my raised bed gardens. The problem is, how do I get it into my raised bed gardens without the rocks and without the sticks? Also, there is the fact that I want to add in horse manure compost and mix that all together. Plus, I want to put a few of the dead leaves that I'm finding out in the woods, because I've got lots of them, and mix that all in just to make a light, fluffy soil. A couple of months ago, I was watching a YouTuber named Sean James, and I was watching how he was amending his soil up there in Canada, where they have kind of like the same kind of soil we have here. It gave me an idea, and I thought, I can do that way too. So this is what I came up with. I've decided that this year I'm going to make a multi-purpose bed. As you can see, I have taken rabbit wire off of one of the old rabbit cages that we had from the first go around on our homestead, and I have just lightly nailed it over the top of this. What I'm going to do now is grab me a couple buckets of the native soil from the forsythia root ball, a couple of buckets from the horse compost manure that I have, and a couple buckets of leaves that I have tons of out in the woods. And I'm going to throw them all right here on this screen. Okay, now today everything is a little bit more damp than I'm used to on this screen, but I think it's going to work out just fine. It might take a little bit of muscle rub. I think the leaves will be a little bit harder, but it's really just as simple. Make sure you have gloves. I know from experience. I just grind it down and mix it up as I'm grinding it. The horse manure came with remnants of straw bales like this. But really, you can just rub it right along that. It's just rabbit wire. It's just a little 1/2-inch squares. I don't know, maybe 1/4 inch. You guys know how I am with these measurements. And I just rub it all down in there. A lot of the sticks and twigs go ahead and go in there as I'm working this down. I'm going to keep working this, and when I get finished, I'll show you what I have in the end. It's a good workout for your arms. What are you chickens doing? You nosy chickens. I'm working that up, little sticks and twigs and roots, pieces of leaves, all, the horse manure, all that's mixing up together. And I believe it's making a great soil for me to start with. It's almost like kneading bread. As you see, as I'm working that down, all the dirt is going through and I'm left with just some bigger pieces of roots. Those look like they could still be viable. I just scrub all the dirt off of them, throw them out in the woods. But these sticks and twigs, those are all going to be valuable for my garden. They'll go into the compost. What ones I can't get scrubbed down in there. And when it's dry, honestly, it scrubs down all the way to nothing but rock and big sticks. While I'm doing this, little teeny tiny rocks do get through there, but I think that's not going to hurt like my root crops or any of that. I think it's actually helping to make my soil better drained. Big sticks like this, I just toss in the container here to put in the compost. It's just making it into a really light and fluffy soil. Pulling all the excess leaves and twigs out. I'm wanting to get it down to bare rocks, and then I'll just dump them out here since I have gravel walkways anyway. Look, it's getting to be mostly rocks now. And occasionally you'll find glass. There's glass everywhere on this property. Everywhere. That's why you wear the heavy gloves. By the way, I got these at Dollar Tree. They've held up. I bought 3 or 4 pair because I thought when I started doing this, it would really tear them up. But they've held up really good for this. All right, we're getting down to just about rocks. We'll just slide that down right here into where I'm going to build my gravel walkways. That's that much less gravel I have to carry in here. Okay, let's see what it looks like. This is what I'm left with, guys. Look at that. Beautiful, loamy, organic, and well-drained soil. Well, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for today. I'm already sweating hot again. It is so humid out here. I think I'm going to go in and make me some more of that lemon balm and chocolate mint tea. Hey, guys, who else going to the meetup? I cannot wait to see all my friends in Pryor, Oklahoma. Let me know in the comments if you'll be there, and I'll look for you. Till next time, love and peace to everyone.